Hello creators, welcome to another video. Today's video we are doing part 2 of this fun fold card. So this is a birthday gift for someone very special. When you undo the ribbon, it folds out into a tri-fold pocket card. Now I did glue down each of these strips right here in the previous video, so I need to make sure that what I put in these pockets will fit in that width and not tear it apart. So I am going to today be making the little inserts to go inside each one of these pockets, and you could also do something on the back if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave this as it is because it's just so pretty. The recipient could just put it up and just look at the beautiful backing piece. This paper is unfortunately no longer available. It was a celebration item, but I'm showing you the technique to make this pocket card. You could do any kind of designer series paper. You could even make your own and color it in. So this is not about the paper, it is about the technique. So I'm going to show you how to make the inserts to go inside your pocket fold card. So I'm going to start by getting out my trimmer, and I have a piece of Whisper white cardstock, standard 8.5 by 11. I'm going to cut this into strips that are 2 inches wide. And I'm doing 2 inches for 2 reasons. Number one, I think that will be a good size that will fit into our pocket card. So let me give it a try. Yes, it will slide in and out of that pocket card fairly easily. And number two, because I want to use my tag topper punch, and you need 2 inches for it to go through that. So let's go ahead and put it in the top. And I'm doing this first because I want to get a feel for how long I want my tag to be. So if I want it to, I can either have it poke out a little bit, or I could have it just barely go to the top, or I could have it even a little bit lower than that. I think I want it a little bit lower. I think I want it about this height. So that means I need it to be whatever this measurement is, and I'm just going to put a little mark with my fingernail, and then I'm going to measure it, and that is going to be, looks like just a little bit bigger than 5.5, so I'm actually just going to cut it right at that 5.5 mark. So if I put it in here and I put this tip here at 5.5, I can chop it right in half and I can get 2 out of 1 long strip. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one as well, and then I just need 1 more. So I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to round each of those corners off. And I want each of these to be a little different, but all have the same kind of theme or coordination going on. So first of all, I'm going to put some stamping on these little guys here. And I want each of them to have a little handwritten note from my family for the recipient, so that they kind of get a feel that we're there celebrating with them, even though we really can't be there in person. But if everybody writes their own little note on each card and gives it to the recipient, I think that will be really special for them. So I'm going to leave a lot of room on these little cards so that we can write a little note or a memory about the person, but I am going to do a little bit of stamping and a little bit of coloring to kind of liven up these pieces a bit. And if you are doing this with family members, I suggest you get them involved. They could each color their own, but because I want all of this to be cohesive, I'm just going to go ahead and probably make these all in the same theme but slightly different. So this is the stamp set that I used on the front of our pocket card here, with this beautiful little heart, and then I used the coordinating die cuts to cut out the heart and the scalloped heart here. It's actually 1 die and it cuts out those 2 pieces. So what I'm going to do is take this one. I think that would be perfect for the bottom of our cards here, our little bookmarks, I guess we could call it. And then I'm also going to use these hearts and get that stamped right down at the bottom. Try and line it up. There, that is really cute. Really cute and really subtle. I really like that. All right, and I'm going to stamp those in a couple colors. That way they kind of more closely reflect our designer series paper that we've colored in. So let's get out our Daffodil Delight, the Flirty Flamingo, and the Soft Seafoam, and we will start with those colors. So stamping lightest to darkest, I'm going to start with my yellow and this heart here. I'm just going to do a couple of random little stamps here and there. And I don't want them in the same place on each one. I want them kind of to all have their own little character. There we go. And I am going to clean as I go because I'm going to be switching up the colors. Okay, and now we'll do the mint macaron, or I'm sorry, the soft seafoam. Although mint would be pretty, but I did not use mint on the other ones. And I'm going to put this one right next to the yellow hearts. And again, you want to leave some room so that they can write their little sentiments on here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and get out that Flirty Flamingo. And I think I'm going to do maybe one of each. We'll see how it goes. And I do want to color in the roses as well. So I'm going to use the same technique that I used in the first part of the video, and if you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and go back to that video. I will link it up in the eye of this card as well as down in the description box below. But I'm going to use the light color first, and I'm just going to color all of that in. And these blends work really well with the water-based stamp pads. So it's not gonna run, I don't have to worry about any of that. Okay, so let's get that in and see how that is looking. So far, so good. So I do want to add just a few more things. I don't want to put any rhinestones on these because I don't want it to be bumpy when I go to close it, but I am going to add a little bit of ribbon to the tops of these, and I'm going to use my crinkled seam binding ribbon to do that. So I'm just going to fold it in half and then cut it and trim that one off. And then I can thread it through that hole made by the label punch, the tag topper punch, and then I can just do that. And that could stick out the top, or I could kind of fold it back in on itself like this so that you don't see anything when it's folded up. Either way is totally fine. So I'm going to add one of those to the top of each one. And I think I do want to add a few more of these little embellishments to go onto each of the pockets, just to add a little more fun to the card. So alright, let's color some of these in, and I'm going to use primarily the Calypso Coral. And just because you're using the Stampin' blends doesn't mean that you have to use them and blend them together. You can definitely use them as colors on their own, like I'm doing right here. I'm just gonna go and color in some of these with the dark one after I use the light one on the other images. All right, I'm going to run these pieces through the Big Shot and I will be right back. So I don't want them to be raised up, so I'm going to use some glue dots instead of dimensionals. Normally I love all of the dimension, however, again, because this needs to be folded and mailed, I want to keep it relatively flat. So I'm going to use some glue dots on the back of these, and let's see, should we off center slightly? I think so. We'll off center that one like that. And then on this guy, we'll put him kind of layered. Kind of do the same thing with these. And there we are, creators. There is a fun and simple way that you can decorate the inside of your tri-fold pocket card. I hope you enjoyed this video, part 2 of my 2-part video series. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click that bell icon to be notified of future videos. You can follow me on the web at MKre8tions.com and on social media with @MKre8tions. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!